Now, joining us live to tell us more is Dan Perry, international affairs expert, joining us live from Tel Aviv. Mr. Perry, thank you so much for joining us. Let's dive right in. With regards to the continued attacks from Israel, to what extent do you believe that Israel is trying to showcase the fact that they essentially have military capabilities, and this signals a threat towards Iran? And through these attacks on Lebanon, they're essentially showcasing that, yes, we're using the military assets that the U.S. has essentially transferred over to Israel. Or does this actually signal a greater and, of course, more potent and concentrated essential conflict between these two nations? What are your thoughts, sir?
My thoughts are that with respect, it signals no such thing. I don't think Israel needs to showcase it has the ability to bomb South Lebanon right on its borders. That's not an achievement, showcases nothing, and convinces no one of anything Israel wants them to be convinced of. If the reports are true, it convinces people probably of unnecessary brutality by Israel. And if they're willing to give Israel the benefit of the doubt, which I actually am, then of an unintentional mistake. But it reflects that Israel is determined to continue to in its efforts to degrade and eventually it hopes to wipe out Hezbollah. And that goal is something that should be shared by the entire planet, and that is supported not just by the U.S. and the West and demanded by UN Security Council resolutions dating back 20 years, but is also the goal of the Lebanese government. So what it truly reflects is that we have an extremely sad situation where the Lebanese government that promised, in the wake of the end of the previous round of hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah in late 2024, to disarm Hezbollah. And theoretically, that was part of the November 2024 agreement that ended that fighting. It can't do it, and clearly it needs help. And no one in the world that I know of is looking for another Middle Eastern quagmire to sink into. That's clear. And right now, NATO is highly disunited on even something basic like how to open up the Strait of Hormuz. That's also clear. They're not looking for a new task, but the only way that this is going to be fixed, I think, is by the world assisting Lebanon, maybe through a coalition of the willing organized by the Security Council that includes European and Arab troops to go in there, because it can be done. Hezbollah has fled largely up north to the Bekaa Valley and beyond. For Israel to get there on the ground, it has to occupy most of Lebanon. No one wants to see that. And you see how careless they can be if this report is true. So no, that's not a great solution. Syria might want to help because the Ashara regime is trying to prove to the world that they're nice and therefore anti-Hezbollah. And indeed, Hezbollah fought to maintain the rule of Bashar Assad, their enemy. But no one really wants Syria, whose military is shambolic and in the past year has been accused of abetting massacres of Druze and Alawites in Syria. No one wants that. Lebanon can't do it. And so I think what I just proposed is basically the only way, unappealing though it may be. Now, you can say it's never going to happen. Well, then Israel will keep doing what they can to degrade Hezbollah.
Yes, essentially Hezbollah is the issue. You mentioned that yes, Israel could use the help, Syria could help, but of course there are concerns with regards to their help. And if Israel then wanted to essentially locate Hezbollah, then the entire city of or country of Lebanon must be occupied. Are there ways around this? Why isn't the U.S. getting involved with regards to Hezbollah and essentially helping Israel?
It is. The U.S. is looking the other way at all these charges of Israel's excessive brutality. I mean, the U.S. isn't complaining. The U.S. continues to assist and to arm the Israeli army. And the U.S. is trying to promote peace talks between Israel and Lebanon. Now, Lebanon today is claiming that Israel conducted a massacre. And again, it's not truthful because I don't think it was on purpose. I understand the frustrations in Lebanon at the deaths of civilians, but the Lebanese government also is projecting quite clearly under Joseph Aoun and Nawaf Salam that they are actually interested in normalization and even peace with Israel. What's standing in the way of Hezbollah? You ask, is there another option to forcibly disarming them? Yeah, convincing them to disarm. And that's extremely unlikely because they are jihadist fanatic maniacs who have terrorism in their DNA. Uh, but it might go through a collapse of the regime in Iran. If the regime in Iran, which is their essentially their patron and of whom they are the proxy, were to fall, or to be compelled to cease its support for proxy militias that have spread mayhem, death, and destruction all around the region for decades, then that might have some power of suasion over Hezbollah. But even that seems fantastical. I suspect it will have to be done by force, and Lebanon clearly lacks the requisite force.
Right. Mr. Perry, please stay with us. We'll be right back with you.